me a moment with your friend. I've never been up enough for my thoughts before.
Welcome to the Only One Mic podcast called Gerard. Just me. Brooklyn Dre is off tonight. And we have Miss Tameka Chapman with us. Miss Tameka Chapman is the mogul of Mogul TV Global. How are you doing, Miss Chapman? I'm doing well. So we was looking forward to this conversation for quite some time now. And now we got you here with your big, beautiful smile and everything. Tameka, tell us a little bit about yourself. Talk to the audience. We want to know, how did you get this whole thing started? Because you competing with the big boys now. You up there with CNN. You have all of these streaming services, the Netflixes and everything like that. So tell us about you first, and then we're going to go into Mogul TV.
About me?
Yes.
I'm from a little town in northern Louisiana called Natchitoches. So I'm a little country girl from a little town with humble beginnings, and I still keep that in my head, in my mindset at all times, because you don't want to get the big head regardless of what you're doing in life, right? So it keeps me grounded. It keeps me as Tasha, as they all call me. They're never gonna let me get any bigger than Tasha. So that's a great thing. I love being surrounded by my family. I'm married with 2 kids. And yeah, it's been a journey. I joined the military right after high school. So I didn't do the traditional route of going to college. I went to the military, U.S. Navy, and did my initial enlistment, became a Navy wife, and you know, the rest is history, you know. It's been, you know, some amazing things that we've done along the way of being married and moving around from place to place, getting to experience different locations and stuff like that. And then I decided to begin a career in 2006. So I became a paralegal.
A paralegal, really? Okay.
I just resigned in 2020. So October 2020, I resigned with a 15-year legal career. So I'm so excited that I got a chance to do that part of my life, because I love, you know, the legal system. I love learning, and I love seeing things and how it works. I'm a true NCIS and Law and Order girl. Okay.
We got to watch this one.
You already a friend in my head, because I am a criminal justice major. I could watch First 48 all day long. I could just sit in front of the TV and I know most of the show they're repeats, but I just sit there and watch it like I never saw it before, just so I could be like, I know he's gonna snitch. I already knew that though, because I saw it.
I know this is completely off the rails, but what is it with ladies and true crime? Women.
Yeah, watch your back. Watch it back.
Is it like a fantasy or something like that? Like, what is this thing with women and true crime shows?
We know what should be done, you know, so we want to make sure that they're doing the right things.
That's right.
Not to get away, but to, you know, zhuzh it on up.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll go with that one, Tameka. Yeah, all right.
So let me ask a question. I mean, I'm sure you hear this all the time, but what made you decide to start this whole enterprise during the middle of a pandemic?
Listen, I'm a very creative person. I've been creative since I was young, tapping into every little thing that I could do, from singing to band to drawing. I'm not a good drawer, an artist at all. I'm just going to admit that. But I grew up with my mom and my grandmother sewing, so I wanted to know more about sewing. Like, how do I put this together? How do I make it work? So I'm a very creative person, and I love to tap into all of those things. And creating this network is like my ultimate level of creativity, because now I get to put all of the things that's in my head into some kind of format so people can enjoy it, whether it's visual or audio. So that was a driving force. But also, as we have been in this pandemic, right? Every time we turn on the TV, every time we turn on the news, it's depressing stuff happening every single day. Every single day, like, you turn the TV on, it doesn't matter what you're watching. It's either gun violence, it's the news,
Mhm.
it's somebody dying, and to create an outlet for a brief moment, not feel so depressed, so bogged down by everything that we have that's happening around us 24/7. Part of me creating this was the mindset of what else can I do in the world? How else can I help us in the world? I'm a big helper. That's what I do. I'm a helper, a true servant at heart. And so what else can I do to help people in the world, to have a smile? I love to smile.
I see.
It's a learned thing. Along the way, I've learned how to get my smile back, and I want to help others do the same thing. So creating during the pandemic, like, why not?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I got to congratulate you for that. That's awesome. And I'm really, really proud of you. I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but as another African-American female, a sister of color, that is just a huge accomplishment. I'm sure all of your friends and your family are very, very proud of your accomplishments. I am. I'm proud of what you've done.
Yeah. Because I've been checking out your stuff on Mogul TV. And I mean, it's different in the sense that it swerves away from what we normally see. And I mean, I don't know where you at with it, Tamika. I know Jess do what she do with that TV thing. But
yeah,
I don't look at it, but I do see a lot of the reality shows and things like that. And a lot of this stuff is just like ratchet as all get up. And I think it kind of gives like a false narrative, especially for Black women, a false narrative of how you act when you have a little something, right. How you can become bougie, how you can spend your time doing a bunch of stuff that you would probably have never done a few years ago if you didn't have any money. So I like the way that you kind of swerve and you're giving a better perspective on things. It's like you said, more inspiring and more inspirational in the sense that it's teaching you, for Black women, how to get money, how to empower yourself, things of that nature. So
wait, so wait, hold on. So there's no ratchet shows on there at all?
No.
Just a little bit of ratchet?
No.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think we all have a little bit of, our past within us. But at the end of the day, we have to choose what we're pushing out into the world. We have to choose what we push out, because I guarantee you, whatever you're pushing out is going to come back, and it's going to come back 100 times. And a lot of times, what we pushing out, especially if it's the ratchet, the nonsense, we don't want to deal with that. We just want to push it and push it and push it. But that's where the reality show concept comes from, because if they're pushing out that negative content, they don't want to be involved in the BS, after the fact, after they push it out. Well, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to come back to bite you in your behind. So I don't subscribe to that model. I've always been a woman who's been big about women's empowerment. How do we empower the next woman? How do I support the next woman to becoming her next level of whatever it is that she wants to see and do? And in May of 2020, I actually hosted a vision board party. And during that vision board party, my vision board actually had a camera with a world with women, a stack of women who are cheering each other on.
Right.
And that's exactly how my vision has now come to life, of me having this platform that I can now empower women around the globe.
What does it take to even start your own company like this? What does it take?
A lot of guts.
Did you have, well, let me rephrase that. Did you have the connections in this industry before? Were you hooked into the industry in some type of way?
No. The only connection, well, I'm probably connected to some good players, but not directly connected to them, right? We all have that 6 degrees of separation. But I will say that in 2020, when I was resigning from my legal career, I had the opportunity to join a network. And so I joined a different network to, see if that was where I belonged. And we joined, and I created shows, and we had shows over there. But about a year into it, it wasn't the right fit for me and what it is that I really felt that we needed to be doing to take my brand and my business to the next level. And so we parted ways, and we created the Mogul TV Global Network. But to create this, I didn't have really, I didn't have contacts in the media industry at all. It was really me. I'm a big nerd, so I like to read. I like to learn. I like to get down to the deep of it, like just do the research. I'm from the legal field, so I'm a very detailed person. So I don't mind doing the research into okay, how many ways can this mess up? How many ways, do we need to do this? Like, what are the more direct paths, and what are the pros and cons to all of it? And so it was a good bit of research to start out, and really and truly, when I began, I was doing everything myself. So I didn't have as many shows on the network, but the shows that I created and had hosts for, I did the editing, I did the marketing, I did the graphics, I did the training to helping them to do their entire run of show. Like, I did all of that to make sure that the quality that we needed for this network to move forward was there. But as we've grown and as we are now in the phase of expanding and scaling, now I have more people and I have a whole team that's helping me to make all this magic happen. And so I'm excited for where we are and how we're growing. But to get started, it really just takes you having a vision and you really just taking that first step, because you can't do anything if you don't take the first step towards what it is that you're really wanting to go after.
Right. And it's hard to have people see what you see.
Yeah.
You know, so what was that pitch like when you started kind of formulating your team? Because I know from the way that you're describing it and the passion that you're describing it in, that, I'm listening to you and I'm like, well, yeah, I would get down with something like that. If I'm able to be in a position to exchange good information. So what was that pitch like when you got, did you recruit certain individuals, or did you just say, look, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to choose you. We're going to have a whole big meeting and we're going to discuss what we're going to do. Or did you just go to individuals first?
It was a couple of things of how I got started. One thing was I used my own platform that I had already built for many years prior to. So I'm an international, well, I don't say international, I'm a global speaker. So I've met many men and women along the way of speaking. I also have a coaching business. So I've met many men and women along the way in the coaching business. And so with that, I kind of knew people that would fit the mold for a type of show that I felt that we needed to have. And so once I came up with the whole concept of this is a show, these are the number of people, this is what they need to talk about, I just looked at my, quote unquote Rolodex and said, okay, she fits this mold, she fits that mold, she fits it. I think it's going to be great. They get great personalities. They would gel together. And so I reached out. And when I reached out, they said yes. And I pride myself on people saying yes to me, because I say yes all the time. Mm-hmm. If it's something that somebody needs, there's nothing that I won't do to help you out if I can help you. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, don't ask me for $1 million.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that just now, and I said, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't ever put those type of things out there, Tamika. Yeah, you ask me for anything. All right.
I have been such a giver. Like, I want to see people go to the next level. I want to see you excel. It excites me when I see everybody else happy about what they're doing. And like that, I've just always been this way. And so when I reached out, they said yes. They was like, there's no way that we can say no to you. You're always there. Like, you've been a blessing. And some of them actually said that they had been praying for what is next for them. They want to take their platform to the next level. And so for me to reach out to them the way that I did with what it is that I was doing, they said that they knew that it was divine timing for them to be a part of what I was doing. And so it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. I don't have people around me that are full of nonsense. Right. We're all like on a trek of let's just make it happen at whatever cost. Like, okay, I'll do my part. I'll do this part. And I'm just like, okay, I got the rest. Like, let's make it happen.
I love it.
But yeah, so they said yes.
So let me ask, how do we access your network? How is it through an app? Is it on, just so that our listeners can hear and know also how to get access to your network?
It's about the streaming, man.
So we are on Roku. Mm-hmm. We are also on Amazon Fire Stick. We have Apple TV coming, just waiting on the approval. But we also have the iOS and Android app. And for those who don't have any of the streaming TV devices, you can actually watch us on your PC or any mobile device at themoguls.tv. So
that's so awesome. I just wanted to say really quickly, I always wanted to be, my mother will tell you, like, I always wanted to be a part of the entertainment industry. To a certain extent I am right now, but not on that level. but I always wanted to be like behind the scenes. Like so many people get awards in the background for all the work that they do, and they're never like the face in the front. I always wanted to be one of those people, and I just didn't know. But listening to you speak and saying how it's so important to take the first step, a lot of times we don't do that because fear is we're afraid. We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of rejection. But I'm at the point in my life where I feel like something's got to give. The world is changing. We got to change with it. It's no more about your 9 to 5 every day and living paycheck to paycheck. At least if you're not going to make six figures, at least be doing something that makes you happy,
Yeah.
and something that does pay the bills, but something that's enjoyable and that you like to do. So this is motivation for me, and affirmation actually, because I've been already in the works of like, all right, mapping out some ideas. You got to put it on paper, and you have to put it in the air, manifesting, just pray on it. And that's what I've been doing lately.
Absolutely.
So thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's funny you said that because I was just talking to my daughter about the same exact thing. It's about having that just before we came on, having that vision, knowing what it is that you want to do, study what it is that you want to do, and don't stop at the bare minimum. Go as far as you can in that particular thing you want to do.
See, we get institutionalized. I believe we get institutionalized at a very young age. It's get up, you got to go to elementary school. You have to go to middle school. Once you finish middle school, you have to finish high school, and then you need to be going to college. And we never get a breather in that time to say, what is it that I really want to do in life? But I've always been like all over the place because when I graduated high school, I moved to North Carolina and got my cosmetology license. And I was down at Dudley's and I was in North Carolina, and then I came back and I said, my father was like, you're going to have to go to service or you're going to get a job. Like my dad would have been 80 years old this year, like old school. You know what I mean? He's like, you're going to have to do something, but you're going to get up out this house. So I did I was working like 4 jobs. I'm young. I'm working like 4 jobs. And then a friend of mine called and was like, why don't you try and apply to Delaware State University? And that's how I ended up in Delaware, going to Del State. But I still was I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I was doing it because my father said I needed to make a decision on some things. So then I just picked business management because everybody else was picking business management. You know what I mean? Not knowing where I wanted to go. But when you have time to sit down and think, things like this happen. You got TV channels and streaming networks, and you could go far with it if you just have a vision, like you said. Yeah. Those vision boards work. I'm about to do it. I'm about to be a part of the next vision board party. I want to do that because this is like the third person that said I want a vision board, and now I got it.
Listen. Here's my thing. A lot of people do vision boards at the beginning of the years, right? Mm-hmm. At the beginning of each year, they do a vision board. But by the time they get to the middle of the year, they're tapped out. They're tired. They've been, they gave it a run. But a lot of people just get frustrated in the pursuit of that dream, in the pursuit of that vision. I like to do things more than once a year. Like you have to, not only just have your vision at the beginning, but let's remind ourselves of what that vision really looked like. But then also let's celebrate the little things that we've done up to this point. Because when we begin to celebrate ourselves for the little things, it motivates us. It keeps us going. It inspires us to say, oh, okay, I can do another month of this, So each month it calculates and it adds up to those greater goals being reached. And so I'm here for the vision board parties. I love a good vision board party. I don't like all the big ones, I don't like the intimate ones because that's when you can really get down to, having those open and authentic conversations and just being transparent about what your dreams and visions are really for your life.
Right.
I'm here for. I'll invite you to the next one.
I would love to come. I would love to come. Please let me know when, because I would love to do it. I've never been a part of one. I have a friend that throws one. Actually, she was on the show. She just created an app, and we had her on the show and interviewed her. I think that she did about 2 or 3 already. And she's another person, put something on the vision board. She wanted to start this app, and now it's like taking off, and it's like really big. I'm proud of her too. I salute my sisters and I applaud y'all when we are strong enough to be determined and be ambitious enough to say, this is what I'm gonna get done, and we get it done. It says a lot.
I don't want to be the minority here, but you got to salute the brothers too. that's trying to do something.
I do. I do salute my kings all the time, but I have to salute my queens too. I'm proud because, we, us as a whole, being a minority, we have so many strikes against us before we even start that it takes a strong-minded person to stay determined and to stay focused to have their dream come true. So we have to congratulate when this happens. So that's why, this is an inspiring conversation.
How do people pitch shows to you, Tamika? Like, do you have people come to you and say, look, this is what we envision this is to be, or do you come and say, you'll be good for this, or do you have people outside pitch shows to you?
Absolutely. So it goes both ways. Initially it was, now I would say not initially, but now that we are in the growing and scaling part of building this network, I have actually been introduced to some amazing people with amazing platforms that are very interested in joining the network. And so I'm super excited about that. But I've also had people that want to have a conversation about an idea that they have. And so having conversations with those who want to bring an idea to me, we have to really go in because it's more of, okay, are you interested in producing it? Or are you interested in being a part of it? Like, is this a show that you're going to be a part of? And what all is it that you need me to help you, do to bring it forward? And so we have a really good conversations about it all. I'm a very creative person, so I can think on my feet. Like, we can come up with a whole concept within the first probably 15, 20 minutes on the call about anything. And so again, it's just allowing anybody that comes to me to have total creative control over what it is that they're wanting to do. As long as it makes sense and it's in alignment with what it is that we're doing on the network, I'm here for it, because why not? I'm big on collaboration and partnership. So if I'm going to tell people that I'm all open to collaboration, I'm all open to partnership, but then I say, nah, especially if it's not going to hurt anything, it's going to continue to add to the network, that makes no sense. So I'm always open to having conversations with anybody, as long as they're coming with good intent. And it's not for, quote unquote, the clout chasing type of stuff. I don't do that. Like, I'm just real and authentic in a big country with how I do things. And so, it's both ways. I'll come up with other concepts and I'll find people to be the host of those shows, or I'll have people that come to me with a concept and we'll work it out to make sure that it lines up and it looks good and it sounds good when it airs.
So you got a lot of different shows on this network, and I was checking out a few of them. Millennials on the Move, Curves, Curls, and Crowns.
Yes.
Millennial Voices. You got a lot of millennials on here too, Tamika.
I do. We actually have a whole millennial channel. We are dedicated to having the millennials have a voice. Listen, who else is talking to the millennials? Nobody wants to speak to millennials. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to partner with millennials. But I have met some amazing millennials along the way. They are phenomenal. They're educated. They are motivated. They want to do things in life. They want to, take that next step. And why are we blocking that? I think that the only way that we're going to get over the hurdle of having the thought that millennials are, quote unquote lazy, they're quote unquote just waiting for things to be handed to them in their hands, is to bridge the gap, the communication gap. We have to bridge the gap. We have to talk to them. We have to hear what they say. We have to see what it is that they're really wanting to do and how they can help us move forward in this thing called life. There's an interview that Brittany Kendall, who is the host of Millennials on the Move, there's an interview she just recently released with a guy named Ivan Sanchez. He's out of Texas, and he is absolutely phenomenal. But he actually said something that I just felt to my core. He said, millennials are not the next, they are the now. We have to have these conversations because they are our leaders. They are our future leaders. So who's going to run the world? And what kind of world are you going to leave them in without passing down good information, passing down good guidance to the next generation and the generation after them? So it's up to us, and I say it's up to the Mogul TV Global Network to start these conversations in hope that it will spark others to continue the conversation with millennials that they have.
So what show on here would you say is like the, I know they're all your babies and the babies of other people as well, but it's like, which one do you look at and you say like, wow, this one really stands out to me? Like they really, if there is one. I mean to put you on the spot.
Let's rephrase that so we could take the heat off of her.
Uh-huh.
And let's say, what are the top 3 shows that are streamed the most? Like, what are your top 3 rated shows right now?
The top 3 rated shows would be The Glow Up, and it also be Millennials on the Move. And then the next one will be Launch, and Launch is actually my show. Those are the top 3 shows. But it's I would say those are the top 3 shows out of the shows that we currently have that are active, because some of the shows are actually just airing, like Curls, and Crowns. They have just started their season 2, so they're now getting back active with all of their content. So I'm sure once we marketing pushing, their show is going to be number 1. They're all ranking at different times of the week, different times of the day of when people are watching the show. So any show can be in the number 1 spot at any time. But we have we have a lot going on this month. We actually have another show that'll be kicked off here on Friday, Live Through Your Soul. It's a show that's all about purpose, talking to men and women about their purpose in life and how they are living in their purpose on purpose. So that's a near dear sweet show as well, because you can talk to anybody about purpose. Everybody has a purpose, but not a lot of people know how to tap into of their purpose. So I'm excited about that show launching on Friday. But I would say all of them are my babies, because most of the shows that's on the network now, except for The Glow Up, that's the show she's in season 4. So that's her show that she brought to the network. We partnered with her, Shania Ellis. But the other shows that's on the network, those are shows that came from my creation. Like, I thought of those shows, the concept, and the shows that have a host, I went on and found those hosts for the network for those shows. And it's just allowing myself to be as creative as I can be, but in a way that it makes sense. Creating something that people want to see, having the idea of it and not sleeping on it, because a lot of times I think that's what happens with a lot of us with visions, right?
Yes.
We have the vision, but we won't act on it because, okay, well, what if this and what if that? Okay, well, let me just write it down and I'll come back to it. But a lot of times we won't act on it.
So everybody that you have working for you, they're spread out all over the country. I would assume that everybody is not like right next to you locally. Is that correct? You're dealing with people from all over?
We are all over. We actually have had a host who is in Africa, and we've had hosts that are in Canada. And for the majority of us, we're spread out across the U.S. So from Virginia to Texas and Louisiana. We're kind of everywhere, all over. We're spread out.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of, first of all, being in the pandemic would be virtual, right? So It allows us to go anywhere and everywhere without having to physically be in that location. We can have conversations with anybody, anywhere. And so, we are spread out across the globe.
It's also good because you get different perspectives from different places.
Absolutely.
I happened to be browsing the channels the other day. I forgot what I was looking at. I don't know. And it was like so many shows, like so many Nigerian shows out there. And it was so funny. My homegirl in Raleigh, she's like, you got to watch these shows. They're good. They're really, really good. And I said, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to just check it out. But if you have someone, did you say South Africa? You said, where did you say? South Africa?
She's in Kenya. She's in Kenya, Nairobi.
Nice. And she hosts, what show is that?
She's on In Her Ear, the women's health and wellness show, In Her Ear.
Okay.
Okay.
That's awesome. I'll check it out. I mean, there's so much stuff out there now and so many different platforms you could go to, but I would love to support our own first. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. We got to. We got to.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you. Appreciate you.
We got to do that.
That's one of the things that we are working on right now, is to have more awareness of the network. Again, the network is only 6 months old. Okay, so we will be a startup forever. In relation to other networks that are out there. And one of the things that you asked, Carl, about all the big brands that the big names are out there. I don't even see them as competition, right? I don't see them as I see that we are adding to what the world needs. Right. So we take ourselves out of, well, for me, this is me mentally speaking here. You're getting all in my head right now. But when I take myself out of competing with other people and competing with other brands or competing with other companies, I now get to focus wholeheartedly on what it is that we are producing, what it is that we're pushing out, and it's more clear.
Right.
I have more clarity because it's like, okay, this is what they are, right? But this is what they're not talking about. These are the things that they're not interested in because it's not going to pull in the quote unquote ratings. Well, that's where my focus is because
Right.
it's important. It really is important. You know, reality TV bringing ratings high and mighty, but that's drama. I am so not interested in drama.
Yes.
I'm too grown for that.
Mhm.
I'm too grown for drama. I have 2 babies. I have 2 toddlers, which, you know, for them is another journey. It took us 18 years to get pregnant with our first child.
Mhm.
So 18 years of trying and crying and praying and asking, why not me? Why not now? What in the heck is going on with me? But I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Who look up to me, who look up to my husband. We have to be the role models. We are their first role models.
Mhm.
So I can't sit and engage in nonsense and engage in drama when I don't want my baby girl to grow up and be a part of that. So they're focusing on what we're doing and how we're doing it. And my son right now, he comes in like, what are we doing today with Mogul? Okay, let's do it, Papa. Let's do it.
There you go.
Right.
And that'll be the one to take it to the next level. You know, so you could kick back and, you know, let them do their thing.
It's so important. It's so important to have your children involved too, because you're creating generational wealth. What's better than that? What is better than that? You're leaving a legacy for them to just pick up and carry on. And I think that's awesome. You know, that's awesome.
That's one of the pillars of the network. The 3 pillars we have are culture, diversity, and legacy. Culture, because we are around the globe, and it's not just African Americans who are on the network. We are diverse, and we have a lot more diversity that's coming. I can't wait to showcase all of it once it's there and it's live. And then, you know, culture, again, we are across the globe. Like, I love learning about other cultures. I have a cousin who has dug deep within our own family and has traced our family back to Mozambique. And I'm just like, what?
Wow.
I want them to work on creating their legacy as well. And so those are the 3 pillars that we are focused on doing here at the network.
So listen, I would like to extend this to you. You can have your people come on. They can talk about their shows. Bring more awareness to your network, if you don't mind.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah,
no
we
problem.
love talking to people. That's what we do.
But I love what you said, because that's kind of like where our show is. It's easy for us to get on here and talk about the normal stuff that everybody talk about, you know.
Yeah.
But who's talking about what you're doing? And the only way that this is going to get out there is if we have that conversation. So yes, I will extend that to you. Pretty sure that Jess and Dre agree with that too, is that, you know, you guys can come on, have people come on and talk about their shows.
Yeah, especially if one is just about to start up. We'd love to promote that for you. That would be great. And we can get it out there that the show is starting, you know, and our followers will follow your station and vice versa. And we just keep growing. That's what we got to do. Grow all in love and just uplifting one another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm here for everything that you all are doing. I appreciate you so much for this conversation. Just allowing me to be me. Right?
Anytime.
But also, listen, we will definitely have conversations after this, and I'll definitely, you know, so that way I can make sure that all the good folks on the network will have an opportunity to come and speak to you. And listen, they have some amazing shows. Amazing shows. Again, we have Curves, and Crowns. We have Millennials on the Move. We have, oh my gosh, they're going to kick my butt. Live Through Your Soul. We have more shows that are coming. So we have Positive News with Luna. That's our weekly, almost like our news show. So I'm excited about that. Just talking about the good things that people are doing across the globe. Like, she is going to knock this out of the park. I'm so excited for her. We have Survivor Stories with Imani Khalid. He is an author.
Did you say Imani Khalid?
That's our boy.
That's our boy.
Boy.
We just interviewed him the other day.
Yeah, we just interviewed him.
Yeah, we're going to do some stuff with him. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, shout out to him and his book talking about the trauma in his life. Yeah,
there was violence.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a friend of the show.
His show will actually be launching in June, so we're excited about that.
You know what? He told us to contact him in June too. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what
he's supposed to do something with him in June. All right, keep going. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We have Sharice's neighborhood, and that's, the concept of Miss Rogers' neighborhood. Except for her, she's going to be talking to small businesses in and around her local community, and as she travels, going to those local communities and talking to them and highlighting them around the world as she travels. And she loves to travel, so we're excited about that. We have 247 Real Talk. Julian Perry, he is all about social justice and civil rights and women's rights, and bringing it to life, bringing more awareness to what's really happening. Because a lot of times, if we see it on the news, it's kind of watered down. They don't really tell you everything you need to really hear.
Right.
And so he's going to do that in a way. So that's more of our news type environment as well. And let me tell you, we have some more stuff coming. I can't even say everything that we have coming.
Excited about this. I'm excited for you. Listening to these shows sounds so dope. Like I got
an idea for a show too. So you wait right there. When we finish this show, I want to ask you a question.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
So you seriously pitching on this show right now?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's what we partnering.
You couldn't wait till you roll the credits, just he's going to cut the show right here. That's messed up. But I dig it. You pitching already, Tamika. You see that?
That's how we do it, though. That's how we do it.
Good, because I was thinking the same thing.
Let me let you know.
I was thinking the same thing.
I needed this laugh today, boy.
Yeah. But one more question for you, Tamika, before we wrap up. Like you mentioned your beautiful babies and your husband and all that. How do you balance that work, that mogul life, if I could say that mogul life and, mom life and all that?
There's no such thing as balance. I don't believe in balance anymore. I believe in the juggle. There is art in the juggle. I actually have a book coming out
what?
that I'm actually going to be talking about this in detail, because so many people struggle with, how do I find work-life balance? Whether you're an entrepreneur or still have a career, how do I find the balance? And I have been saying this for years. There is no such thing as balance. When you have kids, when you have a job, when you have a husband, or you have a business, you have to learn how to juggle. And if you think about the juggler, he has 3 pins, right? So we think about our career or our business, then our babies, children, and then our spouse, right? So we have these pins, and we're throwing them up, and he's throwing them up in the air. Whichever one is in the air is the one that requires all of your focus, all of your attention at the time that is up there. Because if you don't, it's going to come down and smash you in the head, possibly knock you out, while the other 2 are safe in your hand. So when that one's coming down, you're switching these over to throw the other one up there. So if you learn how to strategically juggle the main areas of your life by giving it all of your attention, you then have that quote unquote balance. So for me, when my kids are here, I'm present in my kids' life. Like I put everything down. I have changed my whole schedule up to make sure that they understand that mama's here. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to give you my undivided attention whenever you're right here in my presence. So I want to be a present mom. That's something both my husband and I do. Right. If they want to play a game, let's play a game. You want to play kickball in my bedroom? Okay, let's play kickball in the bedroom. It's okay. Right. And so when it's time for that to, now I have them safe here in my hands. They've come down. I can now focus on something else. So if it's my business, they understand mama's been here all this time with us. She just needs this little time to do an interview, like I'm talking to you all. Right. Well, let's give mama that time to do her interview. Now, we're only going to give you a little bit of time, mama. We're only going to give you a little bit of time, but we're going to give you your time. And so then it becomes with my husband. So when the kids are asleep and the business has been done, we both come together. It's now time for us to spend that time together as well, because I believe that you have to continue feeding the relationship, right? Not, it's going to come down and knock you in the head. So, you have to think about those things that you have to have as a priority in your life. So maybe it's 5 pins. It's okay. Learn how to juggle your 5 pins to making sure that you're giving each one the attention that it needs. No longer how matter it takes for it to be in the air. Give it that attention. And that's what I do. That's how I exist. That's how I work. And then I use spreadsheets.
And then I use spreadsheets.
And my team, I have an amazing team. Oh my gosh. Like when I tell you, I could not have prayed for a better team. And it seems like Wonderful. The minute that I say, okay, God, I need this, I need you to send whoever I need to be talking to. Like, no doubt it happens. Like with the PR, I was just talking to my sister one day and I said, okay, I got to get on this PR. I got to get on the PR. Okay, I got to make the investment. I got a DM on my Facebook Messenger from my PR, Miss Ruth Davis. And I was just like, you know what? I need to talk to you. She says, okay, let's talk now. And not even 2 days later, we're going for it. We hitting it up, So it has been an amazing ride. But I think that's how I function as the CEO of my business, to get it all done.
Yeah, Ruth is a real good person. She looked out for us a lot. Yeah, Ruth Davis. So shout out to her. All right, so we're gonna get ready to wrap up, though. You know what? It was so dope having you here.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So the next time you come on, we're talking to Tameka Chapman, the author. Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully, it's a process writing a book, so I don't think it's going to be that long of a stretch. You're going to be in the process of writing a book because you're going to be back before then, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. All right. So just tell us, Tameka, how can everybody support the machine? Let us know where we can reach you at.
Find us at Mogul TV Global on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Mogul Media Company. We're insane everywhere you go. Look up my name, Tameka Chapman. You can have access to everything.
All right. And we're going to put everything in the details too, so we'll get you. All right, and the Only One Mic podcast is available on all major platforms that you stream your podcasts on. Also, check out our Only One Mic podcast YouTube channel to catch up on the past and current episodes, just like this one. Please don't forget to rate the show and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can reach us via Instagram and Twitter at the Only One Mic P1, Facebook and LinkedIn at the Only One Mic podcast, and also via email at the Only One Mic 00. Only One Mic 00 at gmail.com. I messed up there for a second. There you can leave your comments. We thank you once again, Miss Tameka Chapman, Mogul TV Global. Check that out, please. And as always, we encourage you to please speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, because they too have their story to tell. Thank you once again. And important, we always say, you never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, and we shouldn't have to run from a black man. Peace.
Peace.